Welcome back to the Weekly YouTube channel. I am your host, Owen, and today we are going to be doing another 2023 draft prospect profile. Today we're going to be looking at South Carolina linebacker Jordan Strachan. I'm going to go with Strachan, Strachan, but I'm not sure if that's the correct way to pronounce it. I haven't really fact-checked that part. I've heard it pronounced a couple different ways. So today we're going to be looking at him, formerly of Georgia State, transferred to South Carolina last year, and unfortunately this year tore his ACL against Arkansas. So he is done for the season and will be, his eligibility is up, so he will have to be forced to commit to the NFL draft. And I want to just go over his film now. That is the only thing that's going to be up there on, it's the last of his film he's going to have up. So this is our final look as for like a film grade before if he comes back in time for testing in the offseason and stuff like that. So real quick, this is from the Dynasty Index. This is my write-up on Jordan. If you want to get this, we have a brand new spot where you can go get it. There's a new way to access the Dynasty Index. You go to patreon.com/KielPro88, KIELPRO88, and you will be able to subscribe to it for a single $1. You'll have access to the entire draft and Dynasty sections of the index. And now it's just more a more convenient way of getting access in the index. So go ahead and check that out. I'll have the description down below. The link in the description down below. So let's just get right into it. Jordan Strachan, he, again, originally from Georgia State, and he blew up in 2020, had a 10-sack season. I graded him out as a linebacker, specifically because I think he's very pigeonholed into like a 3-4 outside linebacker, kind of rush linebacker role. So I don't think he's like a traditional edge rusher, as we'll see in a little bit. I think he maybe could play weak side end in an even front, but I think his best role when he was used mostly as in college was as a rush linebacker in a 3-4 scheme or an odd front scheme. So this is a quick look at his grade, and there's a little write-up that I have. You want to read that, go ahead and pause the video, or go down to the Patreon and subscribe. You'll be able to get access to all of my write-ups. I think I have like 50 or so right now. So yep, go down there, and let's get right into the film. Okay, so our first play here is going to be when he was still on Georgia State. This is back in 2020. And they're going against Troy. This is his, I think it's a 2.5 sack performance from this game. So if you look at my cursor, he's going to be right here on the bottom, number 7, with the white turf sleeves and things like that. So this play is really going to show off his pass rushing acumen. They're going to send him on the pass rush here. Now let's take a real quick look at it. All right. So let's rewind that real quick. So yeah, you'll see he's able to get off. He's kind of a lighter weight, 250. So he's around like what those weak side ends in a 4-3 scheme would weigh at, or like as I said, like a bigger rush linebacker in a 3-4 scheme. And he's able to use his super long arms. He's able to use that to get into his lineman's chest and bull rush him backwards into the quarterback and get real good pressure on here. The quarterback's able to get it off and dump it off real quick, but he holds it for another half second. He's getting a sack, and he gets a good quarterback hit, good pressure, just overall good long arm power rush move when we run it again. So, boom, arms right in the middle of the lineman's chest, has him full extension, has him at his own will, just backing him up into his quarterback, disengages because he has that leverage advantage with the inside hands and long arms, gets off, gets in the quarterback, makes the quarterback throw it short. So that's just one of his many ways he can rush the passer. Like I said, he uses his length pretty well, and as you can see, he's got long arms. He uses it very well when playing, especially as an edge rusher and when disengaging from blocks. So he uses that in run game as well. This just, I think, was a really good first play show off. Like I said, he was used a lot of pass rusher, long arms, good power move. He doesn't show a lot of power moves in his game, but this play specifically I thought was probably the best he's used it from what I've seen so far. So, yeah, I like that play, and we'll move on to the next one. Okay, so this next play, he's in a 3-point stance, like one of those traditional even front ends like I was talking about how he could potentially play as. But this play is specifically why I don't think he'll be a good fit for the even front scheme. I think he's just a little slow out of his stance, and this is a game for 2020, so he has progressed a lot better with his run fits and being able to read the run plays, which we'll get into in his South Carolina film we'll get to in a second. But for this play, he's down here on the bottom of your screen. He gets out of his stance real slow. I have no idea why. He loses most of his burst when he goes down to 3 points instead of 2 points. So he gets out of his stance slow, and his wide receiver sweep is about to get outside of him. So he loses outside of contain, and then this receiver is about to be able to turn upfield. So on a traditional play, you want him to be able to fire off, get upfield, because either he's rushing the quarterback or he's keeping this outside contain, especially with a free release from the tackle like this. You want him coming upfield and making the tackle, but he gets out of his stance slow and gives the wide receiver just a little bit of edge to get outside of him. So he blows the run contain there. Like I said, though, that's just one bad play of him in run defense. When he gets to South Carolina and he's coached up more and allowed to just play from that linebacker role instead of the down lineman position, plus just getting older as a prospect and being able to read things better and be more comprehensive mentally, he gets better at run defense. But that was just one of the things I saw early on in this early game of his career in his breakout season, where I was kind of iffy on his run defense, which again got better as his career went on in college. So here's our next play. This is going to be one of his the first of a couple of his sacks, where he'll be on the top of your screen right here, and he's in that 2-point stance again. So his burst out of his stance is really good on this one. I don't know if it's because they think it's an obvious passing down and they coordinated it to him, or if it's because he's in a stance change. I like to think it's the first reason. But it's going to be a really nice pass rush move outside of here. I'll let it play real quick. You're going to see him put on his stance. The quarterback gets it, and he's just able to drop that shoulder with a little bit of bend around the corner with a little bit of hip flexibility, and use those long arms to knock the ball out of the quarterback's hand with a strip sack, and makes the full effort play to come around and recover his own fumble. So it's more of that pass rushing acumen that I showed with the first clip where he was able to get the bull rush. So this shows that he's not able to just use power. He's able to reduce his frame and get around the edges of tackles and get to the quarterback. He's got that speed in him, in addition to that length and some power, and he knows how to use his hands. He knows how to use his length well. He's got some good bursts, again, when he's out of 2-point stance, is my personal opinion. And yeah, I just think that overall he brings a lot of options on how to rush the passer. There's going to be concern because his knee injury that knocked him out is what's going to limit some of his more athletic plays like this. But if he makes a full recovery, I think you're getting somebody who brings a lot to the table as a pass rusher from the linebacker position. And I'm not going to show a lot of it in this film study, but just because he doesn't make a lot of big plays in the pass coverage game. But when he gets into his drops, into his zones, it does a good job reading it and getting in the right position, getting back there with some good speed and keeping his eyes on the quarterback. So not only can he rush the passer on third down, he's able to drop into the coverage and things like that. And when we'll get to it in a little bit, is his run defense has gotten a lot better. So I think as an all-around prospect, I think he's been improving steadily. But for right now, I think he has the pass rushing acumen that you would like to see from somebody, and that'll be able to get him some reps on the field when he gets healthy. So yeah, this is just another example of him being more of a pass rushing kind of linebacker out of that 3-4 and giving you different variations to how he can rush the passer. And just the effort. I love the effort of picking up his own fumble and things like that using his long arms. It was just one of my favorite plays he made in this game. For obvious reasons, it's a big play. So yeah, just showed off a lot of things that I think are pros for him. His speed, his bend, his length, and his ability to get the quarterback, his effort. So I think this was just a big exemplary play, especially for this specific tape. So I'm going to immediately contradict myself here, and I'm actually going to show one of his pass coverage reps, even though I just said I probably wasn't going to show that many of them. He's down here. It's a really clutch third down, late in the game that Troy is trying to come back for, down one score late in the fourth quarter. He's going to be right here, and he's going to drop into his zone, his cover 3 zone back here. He gets out there, gets in the area he needs to. They're trying to attack him with make him go one way or the other with these routes, so he has to pick whether inside or out to take. I think he does a good job of getting a position where he's in between both. The quarterback's scared because he is a long length of defender, and if he tries to throw it over here, he could be able to jump both routes just because his size and things like that. So the quarterback doesn't even look his way. I think he does a great job of keeping his eyes on the quarterback here while he's dropping into coverage, so he knows, okay, right there, he's not looking my way. I have time to turn and run and look where I'm going. Looks back. He mans both those guys. Technically, he can't cover 2 dudes at once, but the threat of him covering both those guys and being able to get in position and make a play on the ball is evident there. Quarterback doesn't even look his way, and that's just evidence, I think, of one of his better traits in pass coverage is just his length, his knowledge of knowing where to be and how to read the quarterback's eyes. He knew that the quarterback looked away. He was able to turn and look and identify where the receivers are before looking back. He's got a good head on the swivel kind of technique. I just liked his movement skills in open space and being able to get out there, showing that he isn't just a pass rusher on third downs. So, yep, that one's not as, big and impactful and flashy as some of his other plays I'm going to show you, but I just liked the little bit of nuance here we got and showing that he does drop in pass coverage every so often. So, yep, now one more play from this game, and then we're going to switch over to when he's in South Carolina. Okay, this is going to be our final play, and this is going to be another pass rushing down where he's going to rush the passer. I think it's not his best pass rush rep, but I think it also shows why he could be a good run defender as well as just a smart player overall. Again, late in the game, 1-score game, third down, 1 minute left in the fourth quarter. He's right here on the bottom of your screen. Now he's going to stunt inside, so he gets picked up by the guard right here. So he gets picked up by the guard. Guards are usually larger defenders, He doesn't really have the best hand leverage. He gets a good long arm in there. You can see he pushes the lineman's head back. He gets a little head rock. But I think he just lacks the overall power to really blow back the guard as of like elite outside edge rushing presence, like a Von Miller or a Nick Chubb or a Myles Garrett. They can really come in and they can punish some guards with their power, let alone get around with their speed. He doesn't really do that. But what I like what he does here is he does get good extension with his arms. Like I said, using his length, gets the guy out of his frame. He's able to get eyes on the quarterback. He doesn't think he's going to be able to get to the quarterback to get the sack, so he jumps up, makes sure he can't make the pass, because I'm assuming the quarterback was looking for this guy right here, but easy first down. Jumps up, gets his arm in the passing lane. Quarterback looks to take off, immediately sheds the blocker because he had that outside leverage. He was able to get off of him as easily as he wanted to. Get off and make a hit in this quarterback, force a really bad pass, and now it's fourth down. So I think that was just and like I said, with run defending, if you can get a guy outside of your frame and be able to just get off him whenever you want, that's a great look for when you're in run defense. So I think this is overall a great rep, even though he doesn't really get to the quarterback and make a sack. He makes an impact play despite his limitations as a power rusher on the interior. So yeah, I think it was just an overall good play. So next we're going to be jumping into 2021 after he makes his transfer to Georgia State to South Carolina against Clemson. So be right back with that. So here we are in 2021. It's South Carolina versus Clemson. We have him here at the bottom of the screen with the long white socks, long white sleeves, stuff like that. This is going to be a play where I told you how he's going to get better and better, and he got coached up with his run defense. This is going to be one of those plays I'm going to show you right now against a pretty good run blocking offensive line in Clemson. I know they were kind of a mess last year, but overall I think when it comes to Troy versus Clemson, I think I know which one's the better run blocking team. He's just going to show some progression with that, and like I said, after this transfer, it was more of a quieter season after this. Like he didn't dominate like he did while he was at Georgia State, but he still showed great growth, and I think I liked a lot more on his tape consistency-wise when it came to facing a higher level of competition with Clemson here. So here we go. He gets out of his stance. He immediately notices the lineman down block, so he knows that there's something going to be coming up this way, because why would they be down blocking and trying to clear a pathway if the running back wasn't coming here? So he immediately, as if, because he's been coached up a lot, he understands that when the lineman down blocks, he has to shuffle slide down because the running back's going to be trying to come up off that lineman's butt. So he immediately comes down, shuffles up, gets hands on his pulling guard. They probably wanted to kick him out and run underneath here. So he clogs up that run lane, and then that running back gets maybe a yard or two of distance, allows his other guys. He takes up the block, allows the other guys to get free. There's a whole crowd right here and just lets the running back get nailed by number 99 here. So I think that was a great run defensive play. Give him a little shove at the end there, get a little dog in him. I think he just did a good job of recognizing the run blocking scheme, getting down on the line, and being able to really affect that running gap that way they couldn't run where they wanted to. And even though he didn't make the play, I think he really set up his other teammates to make this play here. So as opposed to last game where we saw him outrun his leverage and let the wide receiver get on the outside of him, now he knows, okay, this is where the running back's trying to go. This is what the blocking is trying to set up for me. I'm going to get in position to, if they don't block me, blow up the running back right in this hole. This is the hole I want to hit. If not, I'm going to let my guys make the play. I'm going to be the one that prevents it from going where they want it to go. So I like that play a lot from him when it comes to a growth in his run defense knowledge. So this is another play we didn't get the best of angle leading into it, so they're already mid snap here. The quarterback's already got the ball, but he's up here on the top. He's going to get into his right tackle for Clemson, and he's going to show off those long arms and a good extension against even higher competition. Like he showed it against Troy, but now these are guys who are going to be of NFL size and then technically of NFL caliber when it comes to Clemson. I don't know how well this offensive line was last year, if any of them are going to be NFL starters, but this guy has definitely got the size, and the Clemson has the pedigree of making NFL caliber offensive tackles. He just gets his hands in, full extension, inside leverage, right? So he's just looking at the quarterback. He's waiting to see, okay, is he going to go somewhere? He's probably playing contain, make sure the quarterback doesn't scramble outside, knowing what kind of quarterback they're facing with DJ from Clemson who can run. So he's there. He gets full extension. Here, we'll run the play while I'm talking. He gets full extension, and he's able to get off the block immediately, get the outside contained. So he's still keeping contained. Gets held by the offensive lineman. It still almost makes a sack. So he's able to get good extension, get off the block like I showed in the Georgia Tech game, now against a higher skill level of competition, and still make the play on the quarterback even though he got held. So I think that's just a great thing where it shows, another great play where it shows his extension, his ability to disengage from blocks, and to attack the quarterback as a pass rusher. So even against higher competition, he's still able to do those kind of things. So it holds up in his film. So it's not the biggest splash play, but I think it's indicative of what he can do as a player and shows really what his strengths are. Here we go. This is a run defense play. I've kind of marked it as that. It is a passing play, but it effectively is a run play for them. It's kind of like a screen where he's able to identify it, sits on the screen, shows his good arm leverage. I'm going to run the play right now. So they're going to run a roll out to the right. They're running all these linemen out here. This is him right here locked up with the tackle. Let's start the play over so you can see where he lines up. He's right down here with the left tackle. So he gets locked up with his left tackle immediately as they're trying to run out here and get as many linemen out behind this running back as possible. They throw it back to him, and we can't really see it because this camera doesn't view it, but you can see a little bit when he gets his hands on the tackle. He's already got full extension. The tackle can't do anything. He's reaching for his outside shoulder pads. He's got none of the leverage. He can't control where this defender is going to take him. So he's able to get full extension, get off, and make a play on this receiver, running back, whoever it is. Immediately makes tackle for loss. So he understands, he reads and identifies that, okay, this is going to be a screen play to this running back. That's why they're running out here. Gets full extension with his hands, makes a great play to get off the block, and then make the tackle behind the line of scrimmage. So I think it's a great understanding, again, of a run. I'm going to call it a run just because it was a play to the running back with a whole line going out there. He reads and reacts to it perfectly, gets great extension with his hands, gets off the block, and makes the play. That's something you really want to see from guys who be your outside linebacker who's going to be in control or in charge of containing those outside runs and making plays out in the flats like this. So I really like this play for him. That's probably another up there, probably top 3 of my favorite plays he has made. And like I said, it's not the biggest and flashiest play, but it just shows everything he's really good at, which is he's gotten better at run identification, bench pressing his lineman off him, showing off those long hands, disengaging and making plays on the ball. Here we go. We're in his final collegiate game now. South Carolina gets Arkansas week 2 or week 3. Can I count week 0 as week 1? Whatever. However the college football wants to word it. He's up top here. Final game is collegiate clear. This first play, real copy-paste what we've been talking about. Good extension. Gets eyes on the running back. Gets off. Makes a tackle. I don't want to dwell on this play too long. It's what we've been discussing. He's got great ability to extend off the blocker, get off the play, and make a tackle on the ball carrier. So I just think, again, emphasizing length, ability to disengage. He can be a good run defender on the edge for you because he understands how to do that. And now with his advanced run blocking identification skills and his coaching, how he's been coached up, I think he's going to be a good run blocker for a 3-4 outside linebacker kind of defense. All right, second last play of the video here. It's going to actually be 2 plays back to back because he gets a sack on this play just through pure effort and just keeping up with the play. And then the next play is where I really want to break down what he does here. So he's going to be up top. We're just going to run through this real quick. It's going to be a play where the quarterback has to hold the ball longer because of good coverage. He's up here. He's fighting. Finally, the quarterback spins out of it, gets a tackle, gets a sack, gets that on a stat sheet. So real quick, boom, doesn't give up on the play, gets a sack. Now this is the play I really want to talk about. He's down here on the bottom against the right tackle. He comes off, immediately gets a punch in the outside shoulder. So he's trying to get a tack upfield. Does that. Let's run it full speed real quick. So gets a punch off the tackle, able to knock off his hands, drop his shoulder, dip and rip, get that nice ankle bend, and just bend around the corner, get to the quarterback here. So boom, look, he's like almost, his lower half is almost parallel to the ground. He's able to keep up, get down there, gets on the quarterback. Quarterback is able to escape and get the ball away. But I just think that's a great pass rush move. I think that's phenomenal as an outside bendy rusher. He's shown he has the long arm and the strong hands to be able to get extension and do power rushes and long arms. I just think this is like the bendy outside rushing kind of thing he can also bring to you as a pass rusher, which we've already shown he can be a good run defender if he can just keep developing pass rush moves and getting stronger and putting some more muscle on that frame and recover well from his knee injury, first off. I think he could be a good third down pass rusher as well and just become an all-around, overall good starter for a 3-4 outside linebacker, or a good 3-4 outside linebacker starter for a defense like that. I really liked this pass rush move. It's probably my favorite of the ones I've shown you so far. Like that long arm was pretty good, but I think just this bend he has here, he's almost totally parallel to the ground when it gets to the end of it. Like right there, he's basically, his legs are sideways and his body's still upright and he's able to go for the tackle. And the quarterback is just barely able to get away, tripping, falling everywhere. So I think that's just a great athletic move right there and just shows you some of the variables variants he brings to your pass rush when you get on the outside there. And actually, we're going to end it there. I was going to show one more play, but I realized that the play I was going to show is the one he got injured on, and I don't want to glorify that or show it because it's kind of gruesome. Also, just out of respect for him. He made a good play. He got to the outside of the tackle box, and then I feel like if his knee didn't give out on him, he probably would have been able to bend around the edge and get to the quarterback on the pass play. But I'm not going to show that. So that was the last play. I gave you a 2-for-1 anyway. So, yeah, overall, in summary, I think he's a good prospect when it comes to run defender, pass rush. He can do the pass coverage stuff and get out to the zone if you really need him to. He's got the length to really threaten quarterbacks. Like, hey, don't throw in this area because I can be I got the go gadget arms. I could be where I can get my hand in where you don't expect I could. But I think overall you want him near the line of scrimmage. And I just think he's very scheme specific. Like, maybe if you want to try him out as a weak end defender or edge defender on an even front, you could. But I feel like, and after watching the film, I hope you feel as well, that he'd probably fit best as a guy who can be the overhang linebacker in a 3-4 system. And I kept emphasizing that as I went through this. But yeah, solid run defender, gets good extension, long arms. He's got some pass rush moves in his repertoire. I think he needs to fine-tune that a little more. It's not going to be what he hangs his hat on when he first gets in the league. But I feel like on obvious passing downs, when he's able to just pin his ears back and get after the quarterback, he has a good combination of moves. And if he faces off against, the right tackle who's a little physically limited or a little bit on the lighter side, he could either bull rush him, he can get around him. Some of that. If he goes against one of those lower caliber right tackles and things like that, I think he'll be able to dominate a game. I definitely think he'll be an impact run defender. If he gets back healthy, I think he could be a day one starter. He's kind of a lower round prospect for me. I have him pegged as round 4 just because of his scheme specificity, in my opinion. I don't try to factor in injuries because I try to do it with the tape, but I think I knocked down his athleticism a little bit just because I think, or his get off. Because, 1, he didn't get out of his 3-point stance that well. And 2, I'm not entirely sure how the knee injury is going to affect that. I'm going to hold out hope that it doesn't. That's the most you'll ever get from me having an injury impact somebody's grade. So I think if I was a team like the Giants or on Wink Martindale's defense or the Ravens or someone who runs more of that 3-4 look, I would definitely give him a look in day 3, maybe late day 2, especially if you do get the medicals on him and he comes back clean. I think if he got back for combine testing, that'd be huge. I think it's far enough out that he may be able to. But we'll see. Maybe he doesn't want to risk re-aggravating it. Maybe he'll wait the pro day. Well, I don't know. It's kind of a short turnaround for that. So hopefully he can get back by the start of the next NFL season. If not, I think somebody will take a shot on him just because his tape is pretty good when it comes to with fundamentals, intelligence on the football field, and just things he's able to do well. And I hope he comes back strong. Really hoping for this guy. Like I said, if I was a fan of a team who runs 3-4, I'd definitely be rooting for us to draft him. So that is my prospect profile on Jordan Strachan. Strachan? I'm so sorry if I'm getting his name wrong. But yeah, real good defensive prospect, I think. Solid. I don't think he's an elite in any way, but at the same time, I think he could be someone that is a long-term contributor to an NFL defense. So if you agree with what I said, or if you have any recommendations on who I should do next, go ahead and leave them down in the comments. I'm potentially starting 2 new side projects, so keep out for that. I'm going to be on the lookout for any more guys I can do full prospect profiles who, if I haven't already seen that they've been injured, will be injured in the future, which I'm not hoping that anybody, but it just makes it easier for me to get these out early on because I know they're not going to put up any more tape. Other than that, yeah, I hope you guys have a good day, and I'll see you guys in the next video.